Alright. So, that wild style of 10 years ago? Alright. Well, if we're being honest, the whole article on him wasn't even as bad as, he was hyping it up. He's like, oh, these trolls are ruining everything, they'll talk. It really wasn't even that bad. I mean, it did point out, it didn't go into specifics, but it did point out some of the, stuff he's said, but, it's not like there were direct quotes or anything. Alright. Well, let me get the thumbnail popping first. Wait for that. Edit. Alright. Thumbnail. Click on the thumbnail real quick and wait 30 minutes for it to open the file. 30 minutes to open the file. Ooh. But yeah, because I haven't actually looked at how long it is, but we'll see. Alright, done. Save. Now we sit and wait another half hour for the game, or game, for YouTube to save. Okay. Come on now there, pimp. He's ridiculous at this point. Alright, there we go. Thumbnail is up, if anybody is interested. Although I've tested it, I know I've said that before, but I've tested it before. And on mobile, the thumbnail updates right away. But on an actual computer, it takes a little bit to fully update. Oop, alright. But yeah, once I get the, there we go, chat open, we will open the article. So, well, because I'm assuming I'll be able to find it really easy just by googling Wings of Redemption New York Times. You know what I mean? But I'm not just gonna sit here and read it all at once, though, you know what I mean? I will actually start playing, and then in between rounds, well, I'll see how long it is too, actually. Alright. Now I just gotta wait for this to load. And we'll be good to go. But yeah, not really much to report. Well, actually, I guess I didn't talk about Game 2 of the NBA Finals last time, but because the Warriors kind of went dummy, so if y'all missed that. Alright, let me see. Times. I'm dead. It's it's literally the first. What the fuck? Oh, it's actually right here. 12 hours ago. Alright, hold on. Let me scoot this over so I can still see chat, but actually still read this. Don't believe everything you read about this man in the photo. Well, alright, exit out of that. Exit out of that. It's already... I just glanced at it, it's already funny. Let me actually copy and paste this real quick. Yeah, because, hold up, I'm gonna actually edit the, title real quick. Hold up. Alright. But yeah, if you're for some reason watching this in the future, you can probably skip ahead a little bit to when I'm actually playing and reading. So, alrighty. Click. Edit. Now we sit and wait 30 minutes for the YouTube studio to load. Woo! Alright. We're waiting. That one AIDS SpongeBob episode. Alright, now that that's saved, now I can actually open the... I can wait 30 minutes for this... Oh, like, Jesus Christ. You would think with updates, Chromebook would, you know, take less time to load, you know? But yeah, I'll get the chat open again. I mean, not that anybody cares, but... Alright, let me click this now. Come on. Okay, pop out chat. Shrinkage. Alright, now that that's open. Alright, now we got the article open and ready to go. Alright. Let me make sure I can, like, see, I don't have to, like, stretch it out more. I can see the whole article. Alright, that should be good to go. Alright. Hold up, let me get this. Unlimited news access. Access this. Like, are suckers really out there paying to access online newspapers? Like, that's just an L. Ah, hold up a second. I was thought about that. Archive. 1 second there, pimps. Let me just bring up the entire thing. Paste, save page. Okay, well, I don't know how long that's going to take to save, so I'm just going to leave it in that tab. Don't believe everything you read about the man in this photo. A picture of Jordy Jordan, an online gamer, has been attached to a fake name and numerous bogus reports of his death, including from the mass shootings in Uvalde, Texas. That's like the headline and then subheadline, or whatever you want to call it. Subtitle. 10 comments on that. That's probably like 10 times the usual time. The amount of comments they get. Alrighty. And you scroll down and there's a picture of him. I mean, low key, that pick. Why is there like a? They got like the mic on his shirt still, or whatever. I don't know. The pick ain't bad that they got, but I mean, it's got like his man titties showing through his shirt and stuff. But and the quote for it, they just take a picture I put up on the internet, and they just put me into everything. Jordy Jordan said. Madeline Gray for the New York Times. Big ups, Madeline Gray. So basically, he was saying, you know, talking about the trolls, putting them into all the different pictures and whatnot, and be like, oh, R.I.P. Bernie Gore's killed by the Taliban while trying to exit out of Afghanistan. And then in, like, Ukraine and all that, too, so. Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna, like, just sit here and read the entire article all at once, but whenever there's, like, little pockets of, you know, time. In the outpouring of grief immediately after the recent school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, posts appeared on Twitter and other social media platforms about a man named Bernie. I like how they purposely don't say the last name. Oh, man. He was a teacher at Robb Elementary School who died sheltering his students from gunfire, the post said. Many of the posts include a picture of a grinning bearded man in glasses. Alright. Alright, let's do this round. Oh, man. But yeah, I'll, because the article doesn't seem to be that long, really. So, we'll get through that. Gotta hype it up a little bit. See, it would have been cool if they had, like, a character in this game that had, like, an anti-stun perk or something. So you could just not get stunned by that AIDS, you know? I meant to use that earlier, so I would just... so I wouldn't fall that far down, but... oh. It didn't activate on the first push. There's input delay, oh man, we don't. That's funny that still that in Elden Ring, when I was playing, I was making that joke. I was like, oh, there's 500 milliseconds of input delay, and then our boy DSP legitimately was saying that. Well, I don't think he said like 500 milliseconds specifically, but that was actually hilarious that I predicted that. I mean, that's an easy prediction, you know what I mean, because DSP has an IQ of probably like 75 to 80, if we're being honest, so. Alright. Some commenters piped up saying they had seen that face and that name before. On that point, they were right. Bernie and the photograph had appeared before on some Twitter accounts that looked as if they were from news organizations like CNN, Fox News, and the BBC. One of those accounts said the man was a journalist executed in Kabul by the Taliban, like I was saying earlier. One said he was an activist killed in Ukraine by a mine planted by Russian-backed separatists. A third said he was murdered in last month's massacre at a grocery store in Buffalo. Oh my lord, we'll talk. There's sneak dissers everywhere. But yeah, basically, I'll just read it like a paragraph at a time, pretty much. So. Oh man, that's, this is actually funny. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it was gonna really be too much, but... like, I've seen the different, well, some of the lines from it. Basically just the ones that are like, yeah, Wings was a racist pedophile and made homophobic statements and, I don't know. But it doesn't actually go into detail like I was saying, at least as far as I was told, or not told, but saw. So. But yeah, I mean, Although you can tell, like, from the wording, that, like, well, I don't know, maybe it's just the writer, but they purposely word it as if a kindergartner is going to be reading it. But I suppose nowadays that's what you gotta do, because let's be honest, the only people looking at news like that, like in New York Times or Washington Post, are gonna be retarded NPCs. You know what I mean? That probably can't really read that well, and if they can, they're just still, you know, brain dead. For those inclined towards conspiracy theory, I like that they call it a conspiracy theory, the conclusion was obvious. Bernie was a so-called crisis actor employed by the left to drum up... Oh, this isn't even talking about Wings. To drum up sympathy for causes like gun control. Like, what? That doesn't make it... Like, I didn't see anybody... like, talking about crisis actors for this one, I'll be honest. Just how they're, you know, using it to push gun control, which... Because for something to be a psyop, they don't actually have to... Like, the FBI doesn't have to be the one that committed the shooting, they're just, you know, using it to push for some shit. His repeated appearances were used to prop up theories that major tragedies were hoaxes and that the mainstream media was complicit. See, that's the thing, they always say that, oh, everybody is, like, everybody pushing against gun control thinks it's a conspiracy and nobody actually died. It's like, nah, pimp. It can still be a conspiracy if all it's being, you know what I mean, used for is to push gun control, so. It doesn't have, you know what I mean? Because they're just conspiring to use it as that. They're not necessarily conspiring to have committed it, you know? Although, you know what I mean, I'm not going to get into it. If y'all saw the meme that I posted on YouTube a couple of days ago, or yesterday, it was the earliest, I don't remember actually, but, yeah. Because even if they're not the ones that committed it, the FBI tends to, you know, do nothing when they know that shit's about to pop off. So, that, in the grand scheme of things, makes it a conspiracy. Random dandelion. A dandelion. Must be the last one of the season. I'm trying to not die to this sucker. Ooh, God is nice. God is be nice. Well then. It's not letting me move. It should be like DSP. The camera is fucking up. It's totally not my fault. Even though I'm backing up and constantly built out. But yeah, like I've said plenty of times before, Wings actually really isn't that bad, but like DSP, yeah, yeah, that's just not, it's like, oops, I accidentally jerked off in front of kids on my stream, oh. Yeah, accidentally, by the way, right? Pedophile. Oh, do you see that? The acorn is boot. What the heck? I've never seen that. The AI just shot off the edge. What the fuck? Yeah, we'll get back to the next paragraph in a second here after we kill Pickle Rick. But, yeah, see, I don't get why people even bother with DSP anymore, you know what I mean? Like, with Wings, it's kind of a funny shit show sometimes, but with DSP, it's basically just him being like, oh, I need that money, oh, my crippling phone game addiction, oh, I need that money. Like, I don't know, man. And people call Wings a pedophile when, you know, DSP is clearly more of one. But as far as I know, Wings has never, quote, accidentally jerked off on stream in front of kids, so. Just saying. I don't think Wings has ever done anything like that. But that's just my knowledge. Alright, next paragraph. On all those points, the conspiracy... Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah, I didn't read that one yet, never mind. On all those points, the conspiracy theorists were wrong. There is no Bernie. He's not a crisis actor, and new organizations are not behind the posts. Or news organizations. And the photo, it's of a 36-year-old online gamer, Jordy Jordan. He's alive, and he had nothing to do with the posts. Oh, my lord. I can't believe suckers actually gotta make a whole article about stuff like that. But I mean, obviously they're concentrated on just like gimmicky stuff like this instead of actually being, you know, trying to counter the point that the FBI usually knows before all this shit pops off, or, you know, is watching the people that do it. Like, oh yeah, we totally didn't give them the AR-15 to do the shooting, let's ignore that. Alright. So, not go in. Alright. Instead, the posts are part of a years-long... What? Like, why did they make that one word? Years-long. I mean, I guess it is one, but... harassment campaign against him taking place on online platforms like Twitter, Reddit, and Discord. The pedophile places, well, the posts have over time spread bogus information about high-profile tragedies to the delight of many of those sharing the joke. I mean, have the New York Times, I assume they've probably made a similar article about Sam Hyde before. I wouldn't be shocked, right? Nothing to do with it. The direct quote from Wings. I have nothing to do with it, Mr. Jordan said in his video call. They just take a picture I put up on the internet and they just put me into everything. Oh, man. Alright, we'll get to the next paragraph here in a moment, after we finish this round, real quick. Oh, man. Yeah, see, that's the thing. They always concentrate on, like, the gimmicky, like, absolute joke conspiracy theories to be like, oh, yeah, that means they're all wrong. Yeah, okay, buddy. FBI totally has not been exposed. Grooming people into being mass shooters or anything. That's just... make that clear, forehead. I did not provide the ammo to that woman. Ah, these suckers. So that sucker just got wrecked. What the fuck? I was gonna say I'll start reading it again and let these suckers finish these two off, but looks like they're not good enough to do that. Alright. Bernie, the full version sounds... Bernie, the full version sounds like a racial slur when spoken aloud. Has appeared more than 8,700 times. Like, did they really count that? What the fuck? Has appeared more than 8,700 times on Twitter, according to an analysis conducted last week by Signal Labs, a media insights company. Signal Labs, those sleek dissers. The name has been mentioned more than 1,200 times on Twitter since the shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde. A nearly 6,000% increase from the prior 2 weeks, according to Signal Labs. Suckers are out there conducting research on how many times people said the name Bernie Gores on Twitter. Like, okay. But yeah, that's how NPCs get, instead of actually making an argument from logic in favor of gun control, you know, they just spew, well, I mean, it's not possible to do that, but they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, dead kids, and they do it in other countries, so And then they'll be like, oh, the other people are just conspiracy theorists, and that makes them feel better about not having a logical argument in favor of their ideology. The harassment seems to have started as a racist campaign. Or wait, what? Oh, sorry, I scrolled a little too far. The harassment seems to have started as a racist inside joke at Mr. Jordan's expense. I like how they call him Mr. Jordan. They suck eating tacos. As the campaign has continued, misinformation researchers say it has shown how mass shootings and other tragedies have become an amusement for a certain subset of the online world. A chance to sow confusion and then revel in it. You know, we do a little misinformation spreading. The initial posts, intended to troll, sometimes fuel rumors that the massacres are false flag operations or staged propaganda events carried out by actors. So that's what they say. They say like, oh, well, it totally wasn't actors, so that means gun control good. Like, they can't put actual, you know what I mean? They can't actually make a 2+2 statement. They just have to say just random bullshit. They're like, oh, that's conspiracy theory, so gun control good now. Like, oh, that's a logical argument, isn't it? Oh, you know? But, I mean, I'm not going to go deep into it because I've made videos explaining it before, but no logical argument in favor of gun control or any state law exists. It's all appeals to either emotion or authority, so that's why, you know, they always be like, oh, dead kids, 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 you know what I mean? But they get people to be like, oh, you just hate kids. Like, really, Pem? That's your best argument? Because it's actually not an argument, but a wise, bald man once said, not an argument. But, that's how all statists are on all sides, though, you know what I mean? They'll just be like, oh, yeah, pee-pee poo-poo, oh, argument. Yeah, okay, but that's logic, isn't it? Oh, without the state, I would be dead. Isn't that logic? That's not appealing. Got that one guy on Twitter that swore up and down that he wasn't appealing to emotion, telling me his sob story about how without the state, he would be dead. Like, sure thing. I've also added to the trauma suffered by the survivors and victims' families, tarnishing the memories of their loved ones. Sometimes, as with the case after Sandy Hook, blah blah blah, the falsehoods lead to harassment from conspiracy theorists. I mean, they used it to try and push gun control so it's not, you know what I mean? Just because it wasn't the FBI that actually did the shooting directly, you know. It really dehumanizes the events, the consequences of shootings, and make it all a joke, said Whitney Phillips, a longtime disinformation researcher. Imagine your title being longtime disinformation researcher. Whitney Phillips. Probably has an IQ of what? 90 to 95? And we got the photo of Mr. Jordan that circulated on Twitter accounts that mimic reputable news organizations. Oh my lord, real talk. Oh man. But yeah, as you can see, that's what I heard though. The article was pretty much just them trying to be like, oh yeah, conspiracies don't exist. Please do not Google Operation Northwoods. The government will not kill you for its plans. They totally will not do that. Trust and believe, forehead. Oh man. Yeah, suckers be like easily manipulatable in both directions. Okay, well I better get out of that because suckers are all dying. And if I go down, Lord knows this other sucker would go down, so. Yeah, this is one of those lobbies that's kind of chalk because these suckers are getting like 0 kills. I don't really know how to play, so. And I get hit by that instantly as soon as, yeah. Like, they got this dumbass holding his fucking shield, like, look at this fucking absolute retard. Like, okay. 32%. Mr. Jordan, who streams himself playing video games on YouTube under the WingsOfRedemption handle, has nearly 440,000 subscribers. He began playing Call of Duty for an online audience in 2008, after losing a job at a steel mill. Before that, he regularly appeared on a podcast where he attracted some criticism for his statements, including some homophobic and racial slurs, and comments in support of lowering the age of consent. I like how they purposely put that one in there too. I have apologized profusely for the error of my juvenile thought process, and live with the ramification of that every day, he said, attributing the comments to his shock jock routine. Oh, my lord. Oh, man, Wings. You silly goose. Alright, I don't know how much longer the article is, but we'll read the whole thing, so. I probably won't be on much longer after I finish reading it, though. So, this is still archiving the web page, like the Wayback Machine. It goes a little too slow, if you ask me. Yeah, this super boss is pretty easy, though, even with retards. Well, I guess sometimes they might, you know, not lead it to the lamp, which could be an issue. Oh, did it glitch out? Oh, no, never mind, it just didn't. Because he was invincible, but he wasn't doing the spin. Because I swear, like, I can't remember what boss it was, but or maybe it was this one. Or maybe it was a regular one. It, like, glitched out and it was permanently invincible. I'm not I think I made a video on that, though. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, well, the stupid AI of the thing is wandering off into the great beyond. And this dumbass of the fucking corncob dude is leading him up there. Absolute retard. And now my character's gonna fucking die. Oh, I dodged that, though. I might be God himself. For sure. Yeah, see, like, if you got retards that don't fucking know how to do it, it's kinda... Like, see, look at this dumbass. He's just circling around it instead of coming over to the dang thing we need to stand by. Like, what is this retard doing? Holy shit, you're stupid. 62 IQ. Fucking lol pop. 2008. Jesus Christ. It literally says up in the fucking top right corner what to do. And it marks it on the map. Like, come on. I'm trying to attract it to me instead of this retard. But like, he's shooting at... Oh, just forget it. You're too fucking stupid. I'm just gonna leave this lobby. Like, Jesus Christ, you're retarded. Like, that's the type of people... That's like literally DSP. You're like, the game didn't... whatever. The game didn't send me a letter in the mail telling me exactly how to play, so... Whatever. Oh, man. Literal 62 IQ. He said he had first learned of the Bernie meme from Reddit posts in 2020. The photo that used it is a selfie he took on his front porch in 2018 and posted on Twitter. He said he had barely been troubled by the campaign initially, calling it such a small thing compared with the multiple times he said he was subjected to more dangerous trolling, including so-called swatting pranks in which people place hoax phone calls to report fake crime in an attempt to compel a response from law enforcement. Mr. Jordan said he believed he had first began... Hold up, let me pick a character. He at first became the target of serious trolling in 2018 after he raised tens of thousands of dollars from followers to undergo weight loss surgery and then dragged his feet before undergoing the procedure. Photos that he posted from a hospital bed as proof that he had completed the operation were later used to fake reports of Bernie's death. I like how they made a whole article about a fucking meme. This webpage is still not... Oh, what the heck? The capture is estimated to start in 1 hour 30 minutes. You may close your browser and the page will still be saved. Oh, like, what? Like, why is the Wayback... That doesn't make any sense. I've never had that happen before. Or the Wayback Machine says you can leave the page because it's already, like, in the process of being saved. And it's taking... Like, that doesn't make any sense. How is it taking an hour and a half to save a web page screenshot? You know what I mean? Because I was just putting this article I'm reading on there, you know what I mean? Like, come on. In online chat rooms and live streams, other gamers have suggested that the harassment began earlier, after Mr. Jordan's displays of frustration. Oh man. Frustration and offensive comments during gaming sessions and podcast episodes. I think this gives them a form of power, he said, of the people posting this photo, often under accounts intended to look as if they belong to news organizations. Messing with somebody or making them feel bad, or saying that is just horrific that they're so desensitized to, that gives them a feeling of belonging. Wait, what? That quote didn't fucking make sense. What the fuck? Messing with somebody or making somebody feel bad or saying that is just horrific. Like, okay, that they're so desensitized to, that gives them... Oh yeah, I guess it does make sense. It's just worded a little odd. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a little off with the wording. Not that it matters. Like, messing with some... Like, if you take out what's between the parentheses, like... Or parentheses. The commas. Just messing with somebody or making somebody feel bad, that gives them a feeling of belonging. What? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. Messing with somebody or making somebody feel bad, that gives them a feeling of belong. Like, I get what he's saying. He's saying them trolls like messing with people because it gives them a sense of belonging, but you didn't fucking word that right, pimp. I'm sorry there, pimp, but that's a little 62 IQ wording, if I'm gonna be honest with you. And that's a direct quote from him, by the way. More from somebody. Yeah, it's from... That's a quote directly from Wings. They got a 62 IQ directly in the article. But what happens next is even more insidious danger, Miss Phillips said. The joke is taken at face value by a sizable portion of people, aka NPCs, who are already primed to distrust society's institutions. Like... And now it just goes on to, like, it just exacerbates all the conspiratorial stuff, like blah blah blah. I think, oh, it's not a conspiracy, so gun control is good now. Like, you still didn't make a logical argument, pimp, sorry. Dead kids is not an argument. I bet this is Sam Hyde reference. I'm skipping a little bit of the article, because this shit, it's not really talking about Wings. Such pranks have a long historical precedent, researchers said. One man, a comedian, has been falsely named as the gunman in several mass killings. Well, of course they won't say Sam Hyde, though. We know who it is, though. Come on, man. Yeah, who cares? This... Okay, we'll just skip to where they talk about Wing, because nobody cares about them, you know what I mean? Nobody cares about the article say like, oh, it's not a conspiracy because, oh, the government would totally never kill people to try and expand its power. That would never occur, forehead. Don't worry, gun control is good because, dead kids bad. Isn't that so logical? I have a PhD, by the way. Alrighty. I have a master's degree and PhD in dead kids, and I'm here to tell you that it's totally a logical argument. Forehead. Oh, what's that? You said, would you take that argument in favor of slavery? Oh, no, that's totally different. No, even though both are, you know, involuntary actions done by the state. Well, enforced by the state, at the very least. So, both are, of course, involuntary actions, since they're state laws, so. Just be like, oh, no, I'm not gonna accept that argument in favor of slavery, even though it's the same argument I just made in favor of gun control, forehead. It's totally different. It's logical when I say it is. I'm sure it is, pimp. Dead kids, by the way. In Mr. Jordan's case, his photo resurfaces in social media posts from accounts that mimic news outlets. Okay, so they're just repeating the same and even copy their logos, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're just repeating the same thing over and over. You know what I mean? They haven't really made a point other than what you could make in one fucking sentence. Like, blah, 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 you know. A report last year that Bernie had been executed by Taliban soldiers in Kabul was posted on Twitter from suspended accounts, blah, 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 which cited multiple deaths. Bernie was described as a victim of the tornado in Kentucky in 2021, and the explosion in Beirut, Lebanon in 2020. Blah, blah, blah. A fake account with 17 followers. Like, why are they making an article about a fucking fake account with 17 followers? What the fuck? So now they're just listing different instances that he was claimed to be a victim of occurrences, so. Alright. But yeah, the article, I mean, that's what I expected. That's what most news articles are. It's just the same thing on repeat over and over and over and over. You know what I mean? Like, you can make the entire point of the article in 1 or 2 sentences. Well, if you had an IQ over 90. You know what I mean? So. Is it basically just like, oh, conspiracy's bad, it's not a conspiracy. The government will not kill you. They totally won't. They do not want to control you, forehead. Oh, what's that? We're arguing in favor of gun control and that's a form of control? Oh, well, ignore that because dead kids. Ignore us wanting to control you, that's logical because bad thing happened, forehead. One post said Bernie was a journalist who had been caught in the crossfire between Russian and Ukraine forces. The account, which has no followers, like, see, that's so stupid. Like, why are you suckers falling for shit from accounts with 0 followers? What the fuck? Like, you might as well just commit the sue at that point. Alright, so I'm just gonna, because oh, the Yeti? Oh, well, I should probably leave. These suckers ain't gonna be able to do it. Yo, have fun with that. Alright. Yeah, this is just them repeating the same shit over and over and over. Ain't no idea who Bernie was, blah blah blah. And that's the end of it. But if you imply I wrongly criticized MSN and because of these bogus accounts my criticism lacks credibility, I will not agree with it, he wrote, whoever. Who cares? Like, most of the article is just retardation, you know what I mean? There are some funny parts, though, I won't lie to you. Let's check out the comments, though. That's what you gotta check out. Hold up. Read the comments. It's called social media, but its effect is too often antisocial with just some dumbass whose account is named Aristotle and has an LSU profile picture. Who cares? Okay, look, it often takes me by surprise that one story can be thoroughly thrown around and beaten up so much it twists and turns. Here I was thinking this man suffers under the hand of internet trolls, only for the narrative to change and swing again on the initial victim. Not everyone's perfect, he already has his flaws, however it's not fair, take into account, blah blah blah. Okay, so it's basically a troll trying to, like, be like, oh yeah, Wings ain't bad, but then he has, in his, comment, he has certain words in all caps, and it's, look here, look this. Oh, Mr. Norris, you troll, you sneak disser. Can anyone imagine the havoc that will come once the ability to produce deep fakes is as common? I mean, deep fakes are basically completely common now. Like, if they have that, I don't remember what that app is where you can quote make people say whatever, but it's like really obvious that it's fake. If you have that in the public sector, you know what I mean, you'd be surprised what the government and military are probably using. A comment from Sean Ranklin himself. This is great journalism. I like how the writer differentiated between legitimate hate abusive speech and those who seek to cause chaos by finding old posts. Many of us forget that in the early 2000s the internet was a different place with different societal norms. Many of the users did not yet reach adulthood, and many things posted during those days cannot be viewed with the lens of today. Doing such could unnecessarily cause deformation and or libel. Oh wait, no, he said, did he purposely say deformation and or liable instead of defamation and libel? So it's best to give everyone a benefit of the doubt. Taking these jokes at face value is probably not a good idea, as mentioned in the article. I agree. Shout out Sean Ranklin, real talk. Anonymous, do people not really have anything better to do and sit around and play games and watch people play games all day and post things on pointless message boards? Blah blah blah. I mean, this person is literally posting on a New York Times article, so that's an L. You can believe certain things you hear about Wings of Redemption, but he's definitely not a mass shooter. Fascinating and extremely frightening. I can't imagine how the name Bernie is used as part of a racial slur. John Wardowski. Well, Jordy, aka Wings of Redemption, is a true class act. I watched his videos dating back to 2010. He's truly a good person. It's a shame to see what's happened to him due to continued harassment from trolls. Oh, man. Sin has many tools, but a lie is the handle that fits them all. Well, although, okay, who cares? Skip these comments. Alrighty, well, I mean, the article had a lot of, like, unneeded fluff that you know what I mean? Like, you could have had all the parts talking about Wings, and then cut out everything else besides, you know, like, you gotta spin your low IQ, like, oh, it's the conspiracy theorists that make it up and try to get you to think that gun control is bad because of whatever. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that they're just trying to push the usual non-argument appeals to emotion and authority, you know what I mean? just be like, oh, it's conspiracy theory, so gun control good because dead kids. That's logic, forehead. Alright, but that's probably going to be all for this stream, though. I just wanted to really read the article and chill for a little bit, so yeah, once the article gets past the part talking about wings, it basically, you know what I mean? It's just repeating the same shit over and over and over, you know? Because people think, oh, if we throw in quotes from random people that don't fucking matter, people will be like, oh shit, this holds more logical meaning than it otherwise would now, forehead. And at the end of the day, it still just appeals to emotional authority, so. But yeah, don't worry, the Buffalo shooter was just known by the FBI. I mean, nothing to see there. They definitely didn't, you know. What did occur? Totally not, right? Alright, alright, alright. But yeah, like I said though, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it's a quote conspiracy or not, because if it's being used to push gun control, it's a psyop. You know what I mean? Even if the action or the shooting itself wasn't 100% planned by the FBI or CIA or whoever, it's still a psyop because it's being used to psychologically control suckers. So, and you can just look on Twitter and you can see how people are easily manipulated by emotion. Like, oh no, dead kids, please take the guns away. Oh my lord. Don't worry, it's not. It's just common sense laws. Oh wait, sorry, pimp. It's still control though. Dumbass. Alright. Oh my lord. Real talk. Suckers be like, oh, another white supremacist shooter. Meanwhile, you know, they're usually black or, you know, redacted. Alright. Let's just keep it 100. Real talk there, pimp. But yeah, I mean, overall, the article, like the wings parts, pretty funny, you know what I mean? It was a good chuckle, nothing too crazy. You know, but that's gonna be all for now, pretty much. So, I guess let me do shout out to where we go. Let me do the capsule for y'all, pimp, because whenever I'm on this game, I like to do a capsule per chatter, even though the corny fanny. Nice. Oh man, it's like I got the fanny pack on his neck. Alright, well, that's gonna be all for now. Shout out to everybody who came through and listening to the article being read, but you can just Google it if you want to see the whole thing, because towards the end I just skipped the repetitive bullshit that was, you know what I mean? It wasn't talking about wings at all, so there's no reason to waste your time with that. It's basically just them trying to appeal to authority and be like, oh, see, this so-called important person, intelligent person, is saying this, so it's correct, forehead. Like, oh, okay, oh. There's never any conspiracy theories ever. Please believe your government and trust that you just need one more law, and death will cease to occur. Tech W. Alright. That's funny though, because when shit like that happens, you can see the so-called, quote, anarchists that are, or the people that are supposedly anti-state, that actually aren't, they get exposed. Like that Hassan guy that was tweeting about he tries to, like, pussyfoot around it and not directly state that we need laws, but, you know, he's blatantly stating that they need gun control, so. And he's supposed to be anti-state, by the way. Like, at least with Bosch, he just completely avoids talking about anything in that realm. You know what I mean? Because he knows his audience will attack him. They'll be like, dead kids, dead kids, dead kids, and he'll be like, you know. So, I mean, last I knew, that's how he did it anyway, you know what I mean? Because I don't actually follow him or anything, but I've seen his posts after shit before where he's basically completely quiet about it. Because he knows if he says something, he's going to alienate a majority of his audience, you know? So he kind of just chills with it. But, it's always funny that people will be like, oh, we need to have more power to the workers. Oh, let's have laws that prevent workers from being armed and being able to overthrow their so-called oppressors. Like, oh, okay. It's kind of funny, though. Or people will be like, oh, yeah, I'm anti-fascist. Meanwhile, they're pro-gun control. Yeah, okay, buddy. That's not a contradiction or anything. But I digress, because NPCs, you know what I mean? You can't do anything about that, because when it comes to majority of people who are NPCs, which is like, what, 80% of people, or whatever the percentage was, since they can't think for themselves, it's just like, oh, well, they're just in the moment, so in the very next moment they'll contradict themselves from the moment before, but they can't think, so they have, you know what I mean, you can point it out and they just will ignore it. Or be like, oh, well, that's Hudsey Squiddy nice. You know, they'll just be like, oh, well, pee-pee poo-poo. You know? They'll be like, you want the workers to take over the means of production, but you also want to stop them from being able to easily get their hands on firearms. Huh. Well, if that isn't a contradiction, and they'll be like, oh, well, pee-pee poo-poo. And they'll just make up some random dumb shit. You know what I mean? And then you'll be like, oh, well, that's not an argument. And then they'll just, you know, never engage. Just like with that video I put up about the 2 + 2 = 4 terrify statists, where you simply ask them a yes or no question, and they're scared to answer it because they know they either answer, you know what I mean? Because the question was essentially, is but bad thing happen if not a logical argument that proves 2 + 2 = 4? And of course, the answer is no, but the person is too scared to answer because they know if they answer no, it's going to, you know, self-detonate their entire position. And if they answer yes, well, then, even though they're an NPC, they're smart enough to know that that is like the most retarded take ever, to say like, bad thing happened, that proves 2 + 2 = 4, you know? So. But, yeah. That's gonna be all for now, though. Appreciate y'all pimps who stopped in, and anybody else watching this in the future. Probably 0 people, but